Well, there's probably no movie in 2011 that people are looking forward to more. I'm sure maybe more people are looking so forward to. And so the big question
anticipated.
is, well, does it live up? Did it live up for you?
I really did think so, especially early on. This movie. Now, I'm neither a student of the book nor the movies, but when I happened to marry a British girl and her son, and she got me so into it.
You married in.
I married into it, yes. There is a certain reverence for the Harry Potter franchise, and I think that a lot of people will shed a tear in this, and not necessarily at the ending. I mean, there are so many epiphanies.
Yeah, there are. And I think it's worth mentioning that we were watching this, and when the movie gets very, very quiet, it was that sort of, you could hear a pin drop in the theater. Everybody was completely with it. It got a big round of applause. And I think that was a good test to the people, the demographic who really is looking forward to this and has been waiting for a while. I think they're going to be very much satisfied.
Harry? No! What are you doing here? Harry Potter. The boy who lived. Come to die.
You hit the nail on the head. When the quiet moments come, people are not rustling in their seats, they're not digging into their popcorn, they're literally hanging on the edge of their seats during the quiet moments.
Yeah,
waiting.
a lot of them were going.
Oh, I know, really. Really, they are, and I think it's because yes, there's a heavy body count in this film.
Yeah, there really is.
And it's rather intense at times.
Well, you remember when a couple of films ago when Cedric dies, that's a real turning point in the entire Harry Potter franchise. You know, it's a major thing when a classmate dies. And if you remember the very end of that film, the look became a little bit darker and they picked up right there at the beginning of the next film. And ever since then, it's been a really dark series of movies because they're dealing with really heavy stuff. And so that all sort of reaches its peak emotionally and with the action. And I will say, I know many Harry Potter fans who've told me there are certain moments from the book that they definitely want to see, and I think you're going to like what they've done with those moments in the book.
I wish I could take credit for the for this perspective, but Matt Goldberg from Collider did a nice little thumbnail of every film and his thoughts on sort of the meaning and what films are better than others. And the first two films directed by Christopher Columbus were not his favorite films, but the third one I think is The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
Azkaban, and I believe that's when the series began to get darker and began to have more of a serious bite to it. You know,
well, because of Sirius Black. It's the play on words that she sort of goes for when she created the character. When Sirius Black enters the franchise, it does become a little bit darker. We start revealing a lot about the past that is, of course, going to lead to this big climax in the future. But yeah, it's Goblet of Fire where Cedric dies at the end, and that really is when the whole thing changes. And I heard Matt talking about this too, and no, Sorcerer's Stone is not the best of the films,
right.
But you have to go back and look and. As an older person, those kids look like babies. It's a kid's movie, the first one.
Well, I saw a thing with Emma Watson, and she said she was 9 years old when she started this, and she said she was still losing her teeth.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's something. Now she's 21.
Yeah.
She's a coveted beauty on the internet and going to be a starlet, I'm sure. And it's an amazing thing. You see how the careers have progressed. These people have spent, as she pointed out, Emma Watson, she spent half her life as a Harry Potter character.
Right.
And that is an amazing thing. No series, I don't think, has endured and had the quality over a decade's time that this one has. I think that it's really significant.
I do too. I totally agree. I think this is sort of whether you're crazy about him personally or not, I think you have to recognize the achievement here. It's been 8 films. We've kicked this idea around before. I would make the argument this is possibly, all things considered, the most successful continuing franchise in film history. Now, okay, Jonathan came back with the James Bond,
Right.
but my point is this. They kept reinventing James Bond, and they kept finding a new character to play James Bond and sort of kept repeating, but all the characters remain the same, all the actors remain the same for the Harry Potter series, and it is one continuous
obviously
narrative.
Richard Harris was only in the first two, and then Dumbledore was taken over by Michael Gambon. Is that
Sure.
right? I don't know. Have we seen something that pushes all the buttons and shows us what Hollywood can really do?
Are you asking for
Yeah.
Oscar predictions
No,
in
I'm not
July?
asking Oscar predictions. I'm asking, have you seen a film this year that is as effective as this film was?
No, I don't think anything has paid off quite so strongly as this. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either. Now, a word about 3D. Most people are going to pay the added 3D price. I mean, there's no question that people are going to spring for the extra bucks. This is Harry Potter, after all, right?
Yeah.
Now, qualification is we did not see this in 3D IMAX, so it may be superior. I thought the 3D really detracted greatly from my enjoyment of this film. I would have liked to have seen it in 2D. They didn't do the last one in 3D because they didn't feel it was ready. I can't imagine that they felt this was entirely ready
Well,
for the 3D. Was it shot in stereoscoping?
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I have no
first
idea.
of all, the reason, for Deathly Hallows Part 1, the reason that Warner gave was, the 3D craze has come on so late into the production of this movie that it wouldn't meet the visual quality that we strive for. Well, that was Balderdash. There were other reasons why they didn't do it. And so here at the beginning of this production, they worked it in 3D from the start. But no, I don't think it added anything. The only argument you can make for going to see it in 3D is
The 3D
if you
glasses.
actually get the Harry Potter shaped 3D glasses. Call the theater or stop by and see if they're going to have those.
I know.
Maybe it's worth paying for the 3D at that point.
Yeah, because you get a little souvenir, because I'm assuming no one is going to put them in the bin.
No.
Assuming
Who in their
everyone,
right mind?
And they probably are meant to be kept.
All right. I recommend it more strongly for 2D, but I will say a couple of shots, a handful actually, sort of caught my attention, and that doesn't happen very often in the Harry Potter series. They're good pictoriographically. Sorry, 50-cent words, but they'll have a still camera with a great landscape view or something like that. I don't think of Harry Potter when I think interesting camera movement, but there were a couple of times when I thought, how exactly did they do that? That's the fastest Steadicam I've seen in quite a while, walking around them, that sort of thing.
You saw it?
I saw the castle and Rowena Ravenclaw. It must have something to do with her. We have to go there now.
What? We can't do that. We've got to plan. We've got to figure it out.
Hermione, when have any of our plans ever actually worked? We plan, we get there, all hell breaks loose.
And so I don't want to sell David Yates short here. This is a really great looking film at times, but I do think the 3D at times counteracts, it's sort of counterproductive to what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think part of it is the distraction for me as a film critic, because I'm trying to size up the aesthetic value of 3D in terms of should our viewers pay the extra money to see it in 3D. So Jeff, would you say that you got your fix from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2?
I definitely got my fix.
And I did too. I would definitely recommend it. I think this movie is going to do major business. It'll be one that people will buy, and they'll watch over and over again.
Why didn't you tell her? Bellatrix. You knew it was me. You didn't say anything.
Come on, Draco. Don't be a brat. To him.
Easy.
I'm so impressed by how the narrative all came together here. And that in and of itself is worthy of some recognition, perhaps by the Academy.
Well, not only J.K. Rowling from the novels, but Steve Kloves has done the
screenwriter,
the lion's share of the writing here, and
Yes.
he has done a really tremendous job.
If anyone here has any knowledge of Mr. Potter's movements this evening, I invite them to step forward. Now.
It seems, despite your exhaustive defensive strategies, you still have a bit of a security problem, Headmaster.
You have watched another episode of The Film Fix. and we are very appreciative of that. As always, I'm Jonathan Hickman, and
I'm Jeff
this
Marker.
is Jeff Marker. And you can join us on the web by going to dailyfilmfix.com, where you can feed your movie addiction.